Hey, it's Target Shooter 145, and I'm coming out with this new series on my channel, new shooter tips. So what this is going to be meant for is people that are just now getting into shooting sports or even hunting, any types of shooting. Doesn't matter what your age you are. I would think usually kids would be watching this because usually parents like to get their younger kids, ranging from sometimes young as 5 up to like 13, sometimes older and sometimes younger. It's ridiculous when I see some 3-year-old shooting a .22 like this one. But what this is going to be, what I'm going to be telling you in these videos on the series is just early beginner tips. There's a few simple things: measurements of scopes, measurements of rounds, even bigger rounds that you might want to know for later. Just about everything I can think of, and I'm not known for being a long-term shooter as of right now, because I've only been shooting guns for about 5 years now. 5 years is a short time, but it ain't that long either. But I do know quite a bit on firearms, and I can tell you quite a bit. The first thing you need to know is safety. You can't go wrong with safety. Now, everyone says this, it's kind of an old saying, is safety is in between your ears. Now that's what's referring to is your head. Just use your head. And the first thing you don't do with a gun, any type of gun, airsoft, okay, that's fine. Paintball gun, that's fine. Anything that can actually penetrate something, don't point it at anybody. Don't do that unless you're self-defense or you actually want to cause damage to them. So don't point it at anything you don't want to cause damage to or destroy. Like say if I set up some targets up here in a minute and show you what I mean by that is just don't point it at any of your friends, for one. Don't do that. You can actually send them to the hospital, okay, and maybe even worse. So don't point, especially something like this. Pellet gun is still bad. Any type of BB pellet gun. BB gun isn't the worst, but you still don't want to get shot with one because they can actually get up in your skin. And that's gotta hurt. And pellets are a lot worse because they have lead-free pellets, but most pellets tend to be made out of lead, and you can actually get lead poisoning from it. If you shoot someone, say, in the arm, or, in the neck, in the head, anything. So you can actually wind up killing someone even if you don't shoot them at their head with the pellet gun. With the .22, on the other hand, depends on what round you're shooting, but I would think that this thing could kill them anywhere. You can shoot them anywhere. You make them, sorry if I'm getting a little bit too graphic here, but they can bleed out. They can have lead poisoning. You can just straight up shoot them in the chest, the head, anything. This thing, not sure if it'll go in the front and out the back, but it probably will rattle around in there a little bit. So don't point a gun at anybody unless it's in self-defense. Say if they got a knife and trying to hurt you, and say if you're a little kid, when you're older, if you're carrying like a Glock or a 1911 or whatever, or even concealed carrying it anywhere on your body, someone pulls out a gun on you, you can pull it out and legally shoot them, but you have to run through a couple laws on this. But basically, just don't shoot anybody with a gun unless you want to hurt them, okay? So there's one safety tip, and another safety tip is always make sure this thing is pointed in a safe direction. So basically what I like to do is point it at the ground. Usually don't do this. A lot of people like to ride around doing this, think they're cool. Right now I'm pointing it backwards. I can't see backwards unless I look backwards. I'm pointing it up. Well, I'm not completely sure if there's a round in this gun or not. So I'm going to safety check it. Make sure there's no round in the chamber. The magazine is not in here. And if there was a round in here and I was unaware of it, and if I pulled the trigger, and it is on safety right now, a round would go up. Now you would think there's nothing up, maybe an airplane, but you got to think that bullet's got to come back down. The bullet's not going to shoot out of the sky. It's not going to go into space or orbit or anything. It's going to come back down and hit something. And I don't want it to hit anything except for maybe the ground. So always shoot, point it at the ground, shoot it at the ground a little bit, and you can see what kind of damage it does up close, and it going up and coming down isn't too good. Oh, and don't point it straight down. If you want to look down, why is, you see, I don't really have it pointing at my foot. I have steel-toe boots, and I don't know if a 22 will go through it, but don't do that, because even if you don't have steel-toe boots, or you do, you can shoot your foot that way. So keep it at kind of like an angle at all times until you're ready to shoot. And another tip is, don't put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to shoot. So basically, like this, when we come around here, is, you see my finger's off the trigger guard. It's off. Now, until I'm ready to shoot, I'm going to put my finger on there and shoot, okay? So always keep your finger like this. It's the most comfortable way that I think there is, because holding it like this kind of gets uncomfortable after a while, because your finger's up against the trigger guard. And just basically bring it up, put your finger in the trigger guard, and shoot. So always make sure you do that. Make it into a habit. Always make a habit of checking the chamber, okay? And I'm going to cut the video for a second and set up some targets and get back to what I was talking about of not pointing the gun at somebody. Alright, so we got the targets set up down there, and basically what I'm going to be doing is the blue jug is going to be a loved one, a family member, saying maybe we're outside or in the house. Someone breaks in or just comes out here, pulls a gun on, say, maybe my cousin, my sister, whatever. Okay, so the red jug is the bad guy here, trying to basically just shoot the family member. And in this position, I wouldn't be defending myself, but I would be defending the blue jug. So what I'm going to be doing is shooting the red jug, but just keep in mind, when you're doing something like this, if they pull a gun on you, not someone else, but you, there are some states where you have to deal with laws. Around here where I live, if someone breaks in, I can legally shoot them. Now, maybe if they break in for a TV, like me and my cameraman were just talking about, I might not shoot them. They're just wanting the TV. If they're coming at me with like a big, hatchet, a knife, or a pistol, or a shotgun, whatever they want to break in the house with, basically, yeah, I can shoot them. But there are some states and countries, I'm leaving out countries, that don't allow you to just shoot someone as soon as they come in the house, because you don't know why they're in the house. Say they come right through the back door, I hear them fiddling with it in my room, come out with a pistol or something, aim right at their head. Okay? I can't really do that, and I honestly wouldn't do that because I don't know why they're coming through the back door. If I see a gun in their hands, you better know I'm going to shoot at them. But you also got to know about over-penetration and other people in the house. But, got some hollow points loaded up in here. Safety is off, and he pulls gun out on one of my family members, and I'm going to take him out. And you can see it has a devastating effect on just a 1-gallon jug. Now obviously that isn't equivalent to like a human or something, but that's gotta hurt. So that guy's dead, or at least down depending on where I would have shot him. Now he's down. Now I gotta, there's probably going to someone hear that shot, call the cops depending on where you live. Someone might call the cops on you. They come here, then you have to deal with all these laws about how this guy randomly came in my backyard, pulled a gun on my cousin, family member, whatever, and I had to shoot him because he or her, sometimes females get involved with this, trying to shoot somebody I love. So I had to defend them. But you gotta still work out the laws, and it's very complicated and frustrated, and I don't want to get to that in this video. But family members saved, and that guy is, I think he's dead. But gun safety is one thing you really need to be paying attention to, and I got a round in here right now, and now it's on safety. So sometimes you need to remember safety is in between your ears, because I forgot to put it back on safety. And when it's on safety, I can't fire it, and I do have a round in the chamber right now. So just make sure to always follow safety and always keep your finger off of the trigger until you're ready to shoot at something you absolutely want to destroy or put damage to, like that red milk jug, water jug. And those are the first few tips, and I hope to see you again in my later videos on this series. And thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it very much, and I'll see you next time.